I'm here at Reach Out Reptiles, my favorite and probably the world's coolest reptile facility, but there are 5 things I bet you've never seen right here in Pennsylvania. My name's Adam, this is Pac-Man, you're watching Reach Out Reptiles, stick around. Coming in at number 5. One of the coolest things is they have a panther chameleon, which in itself, whatever. Everybody has a panther chameleon. In order to have a research center or a facility for education or a zoo, you kind of have to have a chameleon, and the one you're gonna have is a panther chameleon because look how beautiful they are. This is a male. But what most people don't have is an outclosure. Now Garrett is off the wall crazy. When we bring him to an enclosure build off and he goes across the country to go do it, he decides instead of just putting things in the box like everybody else and trying to win, let's hack this thing apart like it's a make your own adventure puzzle. And then he puts a chameleon in it. So what he did is he came home and then made it because he got upset that he didn't win, which maybe he deserved to or not, but we're not gonna be there. We're not gonna go there. Personally, I think I deserve to win. Either way, this chameleon here has an outclosure. It doesn't even have an enclosure to go into, but he's got everything that he needs. They put plants, they put a rain shower. They've got this soupy mixture almost of this substrate and water that they then drain every day to keep it nice and sanitary. And then he gets another shower and then another one. I don't know how much water they go through, but it's pretty incredible how much work they put into this chameleon. And this is a shop dedicated to reticulated pythons, so this is just kind of like an ad hoc thing to have in their place. That's what I love about Reach Out Reptiles. It's different. Going to number 4. Another thing in Reach Out Reptiles is they've got the coolest and weirdest animals that I've ever seen. They have a 2-headed snake. It doesn't really breathe anymore, but what does breathe is they're extra-legged amphibians. So they've got this Egyptian green toad, which they only get really this big, which is pretty cool in and of itself, to have an amphibian that isn't very big and is green and kind of looks like a Pokemon. This is like imagine a tokay gecko that doesn't want to bite your face off. That's what this is, and also breathe through its skin. The important thing, it's peeing in my hand right now, is that he's got an extra hand. So he's kind of jazz hands. Every time he jumps, it kind of looks like jazz hands. Absolutely fantastic, super duper cool. He's got a cute little face, and because it's a toad, you don't need an aquatic enclosure for him, which means he's just kind of sitting there with his arm in the air the entire time. They also have this American bullfrog, which has 5 legs, and he's using all of them to get away from me. Funny thing is, they actually found this on the property. I'm pretty sure that Garrett has this genetic thing going on where he put like a retic to it or something to get like a really cool morph, and then it hatched out into a tadpole that was mixed with like a retic egg or something. I don't know the full story, but he's got a fishing license for it. Anyway, kickstand, we're gonna leave him alone and go show you something else. Number 3, exercise is also important here at Reach Out Reptiles. Besides the fact they got me running all over the place for this video, we've also got all the snakes running all over the place too. There's jungle gyms literally on the wall. So we've got shelving units that you'd use for books or trinkets, and instead we've got reticulated pythons and a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So reticulated pythons in general, most people don't give them a big enough enclosure. I mean, we're changing that now, but what Garrett likes to do, being that he has, lots and lots of them, is give them all free roam time. So they're up here expending energy so that they have a fighting form. Reticulated pythons aren't supposed to be big. They're supposed to be kind of slender and athletic looking. And the best way to do that is A, diet, but also to make sure that they give enough exercise. Coming in at number 2. So the enclosures are actually connecting to this jungle gym. So instead of having the snakes in already pretty spacious enclosures, they've also got an option to come into this one. This one's kind of cool, but there's a different one over here that, in my opinion, is even cooler. One thing that Garrett likes to do is just take junk, basically, that nobody else wants and make it into the coolest things that definitely aren't junk, like this guy right here. This is, in fact, a shipping container door, and it feels like one too, and they put some glass in the bottom, and they're gonna make a rain chamber in here so that you can have a very humid environment for an animal that comes from an island that is very, very humid. Again, putting the animal's needs before the needs of the keeper. They've also got a disappearing act here. It's Chico the American alligator. This is a hypo-American alligator. They're really uncommon. Most people don't have them, but that's not even the coolest thing about why I'm in here and telling you about it. The fact that most people who have small alligators keep them in small containers, and Garrett's like, no, you know what we should do instead is just make something freaking huge and impressive, and this isn't even her forever home. This animal's gonna get big and impressive, and Garrett's just gonna build another one, and another one, and another one, and everything is always evolving here for the animals. It's kind of a running theme, but the fact that they even have one of these hypo-American alligators in this giant stock pond is just super impressive, because most people don't keep alligators in something like this until they're full grown, and this is just a stepping stone. I love that. And the craziest thing of all, number one, they've got corn snakes that aren't corn snakes. This is Impala, a house snake. African house snakes are one of the coolest snakes on earth because they're not a python, although they look and kind of act like them, and they're not a colubrid, even though they look and kind of act like them too. They feel funny when they are on you, they look a little bit funny, they're pretty inquisitive, and they all have names. In fact, every snake in here has a name, and that is what I really love about Reach Out is they're not numbers. These things squirt, Clementine, Lizard, Liddy, everywhere you walk around, and when Garrett's calling, hey, if this, you know, is number 403, no, it's, hey, is MJ doing okay today? I love that. There's a personality to each of these snakes. In real life, you're gonna notice your pet snakes have a personality of their own, and right here, that's embraced rather than being put on the back burner. Those are the craziest things about Reach Out Reptiles. Never been to a place, although I've been to several, none of them have jungle gyms on the walls, or everything that Garrett likes to talk about, even though we kicked him out for the day, is about the animals and how it benefits the animals, rather than talking about how it's gonna make much more money this way or be more efficient. So Reach Out Reptiles is different and unique, and the reason I love coming here so much is because it always feels good. There's no ick at Reach Out Reptiles. Cool. I'm gonna put that in my poetry book.
Yeah, I have a tear in my eye right now.
Start down. Are you okay?
Nothing.